Yeah, that's on purpose. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Megan.
So you just discovered my background is blurred out. That is an option on Zoom. If you go
Hmm.
to your camera and you kind of click on a little arrow and then you can change your background. You can even
Cool.
pick a custom background like a beach or somewhere you would like to be other than
Nice.
work. But
Sounds like a
of
plan.
course, we have no place that we would other be rather be than
Right
right
where we are.
here talking to the public, educating
Mhm.
people so that they
Yeah,
can make super smart decisions and get their offers accepted
for
and
sure.
get themselves prepared, right?
Absolutely.
All
All
right.
day long.
So I said I would surprise you with the
Mhm.
topic today. And so the topic is a tale of two real estate markets, a tale of two markets, two separate markets
Mm.
in the same region, in the
Mm.
same city, very close to each other. There is a
Mm.
tale of two markets. There's
Sounds like
no,
a Dateline opening.
yeah, there's no middle market. There's this market and there's this market. So let me
Uh-huh.
explain to you what I mean, okay?
Okay.
So, um, I put a house up for sale and the price was in line with what the sales prices have been. Okay, it was under 1 million.
Hmm.
So this gives you just kind of a bird's eye view.
Hmm.
And it was in line with sales prices, but a little bit higher than asking prices. And the release was a little lackluster. Okay. So it's eventually sold. Everything was fine, but it would have been better to start it off a little bit lower. People that are looking to sell their house, they're like, well, I can always go down, but I don't want
Hmm.
to, have to accept just any offer that comes in. What if that's the only offer I get? It's like, listen,
Hmm.
the market, I promise you, will come to a head within a week of the house going on the market. It's still that strong of a market, although prices aren't, going up like they have been in the last couple of years, because that's not really sustainable, obviously. So anyway, the
Right.
market's fine, but if you price the house too high, even just by 3%, you are going to find that your release onto the market, your big boom, is sort of fizzles out a little bit. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, that was just under 1 million. Okay. Now, the same city, I made an offer on a house and it had just been purchased last August for 1.8 million. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, it had to come up on the market again because they got relocated for work. So the realtor put it up for sale for guess how much? Don't guess. 1.8 million, same price,
Oh.
okay?
Hmm.
Check this out. So the house is like hotter than a hot potato. It is gorgeous. It's decorated to the nines. It's got everything you want. It's got the pool, it's got the patio, the outdoor fire pit. It's immaculate, okay? My client wants the house, and I'm like, how in the hell do we value this house that's going to have multiple offers that just sold last August for 1.8, right? There's some barriers there, like the appraiser, like what's going to happen. Anyway, so the seller had made some improvements, like roof, solar panels, pool equipment, some things like that. It was about
Hmm.
53,000.
Wow. Wow.
So I was like, how do we calculate this? Well, let's just say that the house appreciated 5% since it sold in August, okay?
Hmm.
5% plus the improvements. So now the price is 1,950,000.
Hmm.
1,150,000. 100,000 in equity in less than a year, right? So I
Hmm.
went over with my client, what all the kind of, things that might come up with the appraiser, that sort of thing. But guess what? We made that offer
Hmm.
and we didn't get the house. We didn't get the house because
Whoa.
somebody else came and
Hmm.
offered probably the same price, cash, 7 days. There were so many offers on this house
At a
in that
million
high
nine fifty.
price. Yeah. A
Yeah.
million 950.
Wow.
So, and that's, the market is just still very strong, very busy. But again, overpricing it is the kiss of death. You know,
Hmm.
you've got to price it right. And it's not because realtors don't want to have open house at your house every weekend or be your best friend or constantly be showing up at your door. It's not because we're avoiding all that. It's because of the culture of the market here.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
culture is that if you're not hot, you're cold, and that's, fizzled out.
Hmm.
So that's my advice for the week is what
Wow.
should you offer? How do you figure it out? What do you look at, as a seller, as a home buyer? Pricing is probably going to be the most important decision that you make. Oh, if as a seller, along with how you prepare your house, obviously. And
Right.
as a
For
home
sure.
buyer, you know, how you get your foot in the door, you know,
Hmm.
and it's
Yeah,
not
it's really
easy to,
about, yeah, it's actually, it's also about positioning, you know.
yeah,
It's a lot
yeah,
of, there's a lot of strategy behind writing those offers, and you do a really great job with that. We all know that for sure. But we deal with a lot of these offers where there's no strategy, there's no positioning of the offer, and buyers have a really difficult time getting acceptance.
right. Yeah, I was pretty sad I didn't get that offer. I was the runner
Yeah.
up at 1,950,000 because I have a very
Wow.
good average.
Sure you
But
do.
yeah, but I was pretty bummed, but there wasn't anything I can do about that. I mean, you can't beat cash.
Yeah, 7 day all cash closing. I
Yeah,
mean, can't compete
yeah.
with that.
So
Otherwise,
anyway,
you'd have been there.
yeah. So that's the news. Anything new from you?
No, I mean, rates are holding steady, which is always good. That's not a
Yeah.
lot of volatility this last few weeks. I mean, this year, thankfully, unlike the previous 2 years, there's not a huge amount of volatility. We get a few days where it's kind of crazy and you go, what the heck happened there? But for the most part, fairly tight trading range, not a lot of volatility. And that's good. I think the market's just kind of settling into a very narrow range, and we'll see what happens over the next few months with the election and all that goes around that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's market's
Usually
really stable that
nothing
way.
nothing happens at the election except for everybody's perception that something's going to happen with the election. So they like, woo,
Yeah,
what do
it's
I
yeah,
do?
you're right. Yeah, sure. It's all about market mindset. It's all
Yeah.
what the Fed governor says and some
Yeah.
data coming out. But the good news is we're fairly stable, so we don't have to be in a market where we have a 0.5% rate swing from Monday to Friday. That's
Yeah.
almost impossible to manage.
That's exhausting. So what are rates at right now? The high sixes, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The FHA/VA is much lower than that, but for the most part, depending upon the factors, loan amounts, FICOs, DTIs, or loan to values, they're mid to high sixes. That's not a bad range.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, I'll take stability all day long. It's been an
Yeah.
exhausting. I was watching a Tom Ferry video,
Hmm.
and he had two realtors on his video, and they were talking about, I don't know, I felt like it was a good video because it was very sincere, but the realtors were talking about market fatigue, and I thought, oh my God, right?
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God, highs and lows of the last couple years, but anyway, all right, well, I'll
Yeah.
take
No, it's been quite
stability.
a ride.
Yeah.
Yes, and you and I are the same every time, no matter what happens in the market. We don't,
Yep.
you know, this is
Keep
not a side
moving.
hustle for us. We just will consistent with our business every day, and it always works out.
Speaking of a side hustle, I got a really great offer on a house yesterday,
Hmm.
and the house had kind of been through, we had two escrows cancel last week, and it's
Hmm.
not because I don't have a great ability, it's just sometimes people do really stupid stuff. And so it was one of the
Sure.
ones where the escrows had canceled, and I got a really nice offer in. I'd been talking to the realtor all weekend. She really had her stuff together. She was on
Hmm.
top of things, just helping craft a really nice offer. So when she sent it over, It was perfect. It was a perfect offer. And
There you
so
go.
I had an open house. I had like 30 people show up, followed up with any of them, followed up with any showings I had. No signs of any other offer coming through, right? So we accepted that offer because it's like, why
Good.
jerk around with
Very good.
people,
Yeah.
And yeah, we know what we want. It's good. So then today, Tuesday, I got another offer.
Hmm.
So I called the realtor and I thanked him. I hadn't ever met him. His client probably came to the open house, and he said, "Oh, I should have called you yesterday. I
Mm.
should have called you yesterday because I said I just accepted an offer yesterday. I should have called you yesterday. You should have called me yesterday, but this isn't your
Well,
full-time job. It was
yeah, that's the point.
it was somebody who had multiple jobs. I'm not going to say what because I don't want to
Yeah. I mean, I
narrow
think
this
we've talked about that
person.
before. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, and your business and mine both is, for the most part, our businesses are not the primary job or business for most people. It's almost a side hustle job anymore. And we're seeing a lot of that. And to your point earlier, it's about positioning and being prepared. And
Yeah,
by the way, that also goes on the side of the realtor and the lender to be prepared. You can't
right.
just be the buyer. It's got to be the realtor and the lender as a
Yep.
team to be prepared. And if you're not, you're going to get that call. Well, we took another offer because you just weren't prepared. You weren't on top of your game, and sorry that did not work out.
Right.
And I feel really really bad for the buyer in that case.
Yep.
You
Oh
know,
my gosh, I know. I
I
know
just hate it.
because like it's like the emotion that goes into finding a house, getting excited
Yeah.
about it. Like
Hmm.
that's really sad. But
Yeah.
what can you do? Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Have a great
Appreciate you,
day,
Megan. You as well.
and I'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk next week.